Hello, seniors and parents. Mr. Stemple here, and I will be your teacher for the Engineering Design and Development class. This will be your last engineering class at McKinley, and it's going to be pretty fun. So, let me just start with a real quick introduction. Who am I? Most of you will probably remember me from the last half of your sophomore year. I came in during your POE and IED year for the last half of the year, so most of you will remember me from that. I have a degree in electrical engineering. I worked as an engineer for 20 years before I started teaching. I've got an 8-year-old daughter. I like doing outdoor activities. And yes, I did fall off those rollerblades more than once. What is EDD? Engineering Design and Development is your senior design project. It's a pretty exciting class. It's one that I really do love teaching, and you're going to enjoy it, I hope. This year is going to be a little bit weird, but we're going to make it work. So we're going to use all of the engineering skills that you've learned so far. All the stuff that you learned in POE, you learned in IED, the stuff you took with Mr. Grimm, all that good stuff like working in a team, doing the design process, lots of calculations, 3D modeling, documentation, all that cool engineering stuff that you've already learned. We're going to use all that. And we're going to refine your skills for the future, your project management, your soldering, building, programming, team responsibility, things that employers are going to look for. We're going to try to refine those skills so that when you go get a job, you'll be really a valuable and good engineer. I'm going to do that using the Sea Glide project. Now, normally in a senior design project, we'd spend a few weeks figuring out what project you want to do. But we're going to do Sea Glide this year, and there's a reason for that, and I'll get into that in a minute. So first of all, what is the Sea Glide project? It's a miniature underwater glider. It's like a little submarine made out of basically a water bottle. And it moves in the water by changing its buoyancy, expelling water. And you can use this thing to gather temperatures or pressure or other sort of underwater readings. And it's been developed as a Navy-related project by some folks that we know up at Carter Rock. And there's that big yellow one there is a larger version of what you're going to be building. And there's details on seaglide.org. You can take a look at it and see all the details about the project. The reason we're going to do that is because we've got a shorter timeline this year. So normally EDD class is a whole year, but we've only got half the year. So I've decided to use this project to help you go through all the cool stuff about EDD without having to go through all the time-consuming stuff like project selection and research and a bunch of other things. I've already done that for you. We also have a partner that's willing to work with us, the folks at the Carter Rock facility. They help develop the Sea Glide, and they're going to help be mentors for our group, so we don't have to go through the part of finding mentors and other stuff. So in short, you're going to get all the good stuff of EDD without having to go through all the detailed work at the beginning of the year. If you're interested and you want to do some more innovation or research on the main project, there are some sensor packs and some other things that we can do with the main project if you're interested. How are we going to do it? You're going to work in project teams, 3 or 4 students, and we'll talk about that as we get into class. You're going to project manage, build, and document this Sea Glide project. We'll assign roles and responsibilities, and we'll talk about all that stuff as we move through it. We're also going to work with a company called Team Gantt to do project management, or rather to give you the tools to do project management. They've also agreed to come in and speak to us a couple times to talk about how to do effective project management. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to use the Sea Glide project. It's going to be great. It's a really cool little project. A lot of stuff to do in there, a lot of building, a lot of electronics in there, and hopefully a lot of fun. So teamwork is going to be important. You will have to work on teams. You will have to work on teams of either 3 or 4, and I'm going to let you self-select your teams, but I want you to know that a lot of your grades will be based on teamwork, right? So a lot of your grades are going to be team grades. So make sure you're selecting people that you know are going to help you get good grades. And then the last thing I want to cover is safety and responsibility. Since we're not building this in the class, you're going to be building this largely at home. You're going to be responsible for the materials and the tools that go along with that. And I'm going to assume that you know how to use those tools safely. Soldering irons, wire cutters, wire strippers, hobby knives, and glue guns, that kind of stuff. You could get hurt on that stuff, and I don't want that to happen. I'll give you as much instruction as I can to make sure you're using the tools safely. If you are uncomfortable with using these tools, let me know and we'll figure something out. You're also going to be given a pretty significant and expensive kit. It's a lot of materials. So we've made a big investment in these materials for your class. So you're going to be responsible for those as well. So I don't want you to lose them or break them or anything else. I want you to treat this project with some responsibility, right? So safety and responsibility are going to be really important, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a really cool project. Class expectations. You guys have seen this, 100 times, right? You're seniors now. You know what I'm expecting. I want you to be ready to work when you come to class. I want you to check into Canvas every day. Show up to class every day. This is going to be really important because I'm going to treat this like a project team, like a real live work project. And if you don't show up to work, then you don't get paid that day, right? So if you're not showing up to class, then you're not going to be a full member of this team. So I need you to show up for class every day and keep up your end of the project, right? You're going to have specific responsibilities for the project. So that's about it. We're going to talk about some more when we meet live. Hopefully you'll have a good time this year. It's going to be a little bit unusual, but I think with this Sea Glide project, we're going to have some really fun opportunities for you. We might even get out to Carter Rock and actually put these things in the water and start testing, live temperatures and pressure and other things in the water, in the Chesapeake Bay or maybe someplace else. I don't know. We'll go and figure it out. So hopefully you're all doing well and looking forward to seeing you in class.